guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie. If you're new here, I hope your day is going well. And today we're gonna do a tag video. I watched this tag on Little Wolf's channel a while ago, and I was obsessed with it, but like, I don't really do tags all that often anymore, but I just keep coming back to this one, and I feel like I found several people who do it. I followed the creators, I followed people who've just made this tag. I just really like this tag, and I just want to do it. And it's the Dark Academia book tag, if I haven't already noted that. So we're gonna do that. I dressed up specifically for this. I hope that it doesn't look shitty. Let's get into the questions, right? Sure? Yep. Cool. Question number 1 is, what is your favorite academia or dark book or movie? Now, I have a couple of books and a show that I don't know if this really counts, but I would consider it counts. But the books are specifically If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio and Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Now, these two are probably not too shocking. This one follows a group of college kids who are in college studying Shakespeare, and they are performers, and there is some nefarious shit going on a la Dark Academia, and I really enjoyed this. I have seen people not love it as much if you're not into Shakespeare, which is understandable because this is very much a Shakespeare-driven book. I thoroughly enjoyed it when I read it, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for more Dark Academia out there right now. And the Ninth House, if you don't know, follows a main character whose life has been pretty shitty, and then all of a sudden she gets a full ride to go to Yale, and she can see ghosts, and it's just super dark, super gritty. I really enjoyed the world building, and I really enjoyed being kind of involved in the Yale dynamics, but also having this supernatural edge. Loved that. So good. Show-wise, I would actually have to say How to Get Away with Murder is probably my choice for like Dark Academia. This is a show about a bunch of college students wanting to become lawyers, and they are taught by their professor to basically get away with murder. And I would say that especially the first season has so many like academic, basically just points that I feel like it has to be considered Dark Academia, and I just love the aesthetic of the first few seasons. I haven't really kept up with it, but I did really enjoy what I watched when I was really involved. Question number 2 is, what dead poet would you like to have a drink with? And honestly, I'm not really into dead poets. Like, I like poetry, but most of it's modern. So I would have to say like maybe Emily Dickinson. I really liked learning about her when I was in high school, and I definitely think that I'll probably research her more. I have no interest in the Haley Steinfeld thing that just came out, but she was really interesting, and I liked her poetry when I was reading it. So there's that. Question number 3 is, what is your favorite painting or sculpture? And this is where I'm going to show the fact that I am uncultured and definitely a peasant, because I don't really have a favorite painting or sculpture, but I did just recently, as of like this morning when I was about to start thinking about doing this tag, found a sculpture that I really liked on Twitter, and I can't remember the name of it anymore, but I bookmarked the tweet, which never happens. It's called The Kiss of Death in Poblano Cemetery, Barcelona, and it is just absolutely amazing and gorgeous, and I really liked it, and I saved it for not really my novel that I'm working on right now, but like aspects of things that I like working on, and it definitely has that like gritty, dark, obsessed with death feel that I like, especially regarding this particular tag. So I'm glad that I found that, because otherwise I would have no answer to this question. Question number 4 is, what is your favorite architectural marvel? And considering them, once again, I'm an uncultured peasant and all of those things, is it too soon to say Notre Dame? Like, that type of architecture is definitely my favorite. I couldn't really tell you any other options, so moving on. Question number 5 is one that I fucks with hardcore. It is, what Shakespearean play would you like to be the lead in? And now, if you don't know this about me, I was a Shakespeare nerd all throughout my young adult life. I absolutely love Shakespeare plays. I grew up on going to Shakespeare in the Park. If you have a park that might do Shakespeare in the Park, hopefully this summer. Probably not, considering life right now. I urge you to go, or at least look Shakespeare up at some point, just because it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. It's not as hard as people say it is to get into. Whatever, Shakespeare rant over. If I was going to want to play a lead in any Shakespeare play, I wouldn't really be able to choose. My number 1 role is not a lead though. My number 1 role is Puck from Midsummer Night's Dream. I absolutely love Puck. He's one of my favorite absolute characters. I say he It's a gender non-binary character personally, but I love that character so much. Now, if I were to play leads, I would want to play Catherine or Katerina from Taming of the Shrew, even though it's not really the best message of his plays. I find it just one of the most hilarious plays ever. And Beatrice from Much Ado About Nothing. She's technically a lead, I would assume. She has some hilarious lines, and I love her like banter with people. Love those two characters so much. Question number 6 is how many languages do you speak, and what languages would you want to be able to speak? I speak one language, and it's the one I'm speaking in right now because, once again, uncultured swine. So I took several years of French and cannot remember pretty much anything about it. I would love to speak specifically French, Spanish, and Italian, mostly because I've heard that if you learn French than Spanish than Italian is easier to learn. I don't know. That was what my high school French teacher told us, but I genuinely believe that I want to learn as many languages as possible if I had the time, just because I want to be able to communicate with as many people in their native tongue as possible, just because I feel like English is such a limited language, and people always expect people to know English, and I just don't like that. But like, learning languages is hard. I took French for like 4 years, and I don't remember shit, and I wasn't good about it. Like, I wasn't good at speaking it when I was learning it, so. Question number 7 is, what is your favorite quote from poetry, prose, or plays, etc.? If you don't know, I have a tattoo on my arm that says, "Give me your hands if we be friends," and it's actually from Midsummer Night's Dream, and it's a monologue from Puck at the end of the play, and I will read you the monologue because I feel like people don't quite understand why I got the tattoo or what it actually means. "If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear, and this weak and idle theme, no more yielding but a dream. Angels do not reprehend, if you pardon we will mend. And as I am an honest Puck, if we have unearned luck, now to scape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long. So good night unto you all, give me your hands if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends." I want to interpret that as Puck saying everyone's been punked. That's how I like to interpret that line, and that is why I got this on my arm. It's not necessarily saying if you're friends with me, I want to hold your hand. It's just a little bit more interesting than that, and I absolutely love that particular end and close of Midsummer Night's Dream. It's one of my absolute favorite plays, and I just find that I put that on my body a long time ago when I was 18. Do I like that people see it and want to hold my hand? No, but I still love that line, and I still love the way that that just sounds to me. It just sounds so kind of like mischievous and very fairy tale and pretend, and I absolutely love that. Question number 8 is, which fictional character's death is your ideal way to go? And I honestly don't think I wrote something down for this question, and I just wrote, I would want to be in Sarah J. Maas book, because if I died, I would come back. So that's what we're going with. Question number 9 is, what university college would you like to attend? And I feel like I have to go with Yale, just because, you know, Ninth House is set in Yale, Gilmore Girls, Rory went to Yale, and I just love all the things that I've heard about their secret societies. And yeah, Oxford, Harvard, I don't know. I just want to go back to school, maybe. I don't know. I don't have the money for that, but I would love to go to like a big college and just be able to walk around. Like, I love, if you don't know, I grew up in Seattle. University of Washington campus is beautiful, and it has all these big architectural structures as well, but I'll go with Yale because reasons. Secret societies, fuck me up. Question number 10 is, what is your murder weapon or murder method of choice? I wrote a baseball bat. I don't know exactly why I put that, but that's what I put. Number 11 is, what mythology would you like to be a part of? And I'm gonna be a basic bitch and say Greek. I don't really feel like I have any other specific ones that I could think of off the top of my head, and Greek mythology just sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like I could get into a lot of shit and no one would really like do anything about it, and it would be a lot of fun. That's what I'm going with. Question number 12 is, if you had to do a PhD, what would you choose to do it on? Now, this is such a fun question, and I would love to do this, and I would love to do a PhD on the last like 50 or 100 years of fantasy literature. I would love to be able to compare modern literature to classical literature, all in the fantasy genre, and be able to like make a doctorate out of it. That would be so fucking cool. I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but that's what I would want to do. Question number 13 is, what fictional character would you die for? And my answers for this is Magnus Bane, because reasons. Trick from Nevernight and Megget from Godsgrave. Two J. Kristoff characters, weirdly enough. But I really couldn't think of a lot of characters that I would die for specifically. And I probably could have put Matthias Helver on here, but like I probably wouldn't die for him because reasons. But Trick, I would die for Trick. Absolutely. Magnus Bane, hands down. Absolutely. And so the next part of this tag is rapid fire questions. I'll try and go through them as quickly as possible. The first one is leather-bound or cloth-bound. I particularly prefer cloth-bound just because I think leather-bound is aesthetically pleasing, but when you hold a leather-bound in your hands, it gets like sweaty. I don't know. It's just personal preference. Number 2 is dog earing or highlighting. And I'm gonna just say both to this because if I'm dog earing or highlighting a book, it's probably for a review. And most likely it's not one that I like care about all that much. I do highlight my like very favorite books, but not necessarily all the time. And honestly, I just destroy books. Rapid fire. Sorry, rapid fire. Number 3, sculptures or paintings. I don't have a preference really at all. Like I am uncultured. Number 4, piano or violin. And I'm gonna say cello because reasons. Number 5, films or theater. I will have to say theater because the drama kid in me, especially the Shakespearean kid in me, cannot pick film, even if I haven't seen or been in a play for many a year. I definitely watch movies way more often, but I have to say theater. Number 6, poetry or prose. I'm going to go with prose just because I do like poetry, but not as much as I like reading fantasy novels. Number 7, museums or bookshops, and I have to go with motherfucking bookshops on this because honestly, museums bore me to tears. I am fired quickly from the academia side of booktube. 8, smell of books or smell of coffee. I cannot believe you're making me fucking choose with this. It's gotta be coffee. I'm sorry, I love my books. They're my pride and joy, but there is nothing in the world that makes me function as a human more than coffee. I can't function without it. So it's gotta be coffee. Number 9 is fountain pen or typewriter. I will go with typewriter just because my handwriting is atrocious, but I don't own a typewriter, and also you can't backspace on a typewriter because that's how a typewriter works. But you also can't backspace with a fountain pen. You can just scribble shit out, but like, I digress. Number 10 is new or used books. Now I have very specific predicaments for this. I absolutely love new books for when they're anticipated. I don't want my new anticipated books that I've been waiting for a really long time to have been touched by anybody else. Like I don't want that spine cracked. I don't want anyone to have breathed on it. I want it brand fucking new. Whereas if I'm like at a thrift store and I find a book that I've been thinking about or looking for and it's been used or written on, I absolutely love that. All right guys, so that was the Dark Academia book tag. If I decide to tag anyone, I will probably do so on Twitter, so you better follow me there. But I'm gonna go, like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Bye!